Good day, everybody. I hope you're having a good one. And it is a little later than usual for me to get started on a live, so I apologize for anybody who's been kind of waiting. Usually I get started like a half hour earlier. But I'm Tracy Brown. I'm your somatic attuned eating and body image specialist, and we're doing some deep work today. So I know some people are going to be like, just tell me like how to eat from hunger and fullness. If that were that easy, I still do it. I give all like the general tips, but I also want to go into nuances because there's a reason why it takes the time. This is a process. It's not really like a 2-step, 5-step, 12-step plan. It's really like it's an unfolding of the onion layers to get us to it's not necessarily a finish line, but it's like knowing so much about you and yourself and what's going on with your body that you don't really need a manual. You just kind of can go with like what's showing up in that day. And that's my goal for you, is to be able to like, my body feels a little different today. What's going on? Or, I can tell you that like when I do XYZ feedback is probably going to happen from my body. And that's something that you learn with experience and time and allowing. So we're going to segue with that to, I don't know if you hear the birds, but what we say that we can or can't or should or shouldn't eat says a whole bunch more about basically about how we feel about ourselves and the world, and about what we say we can't ask for, or what we say that we're allowed to do. And that has a lot more to do with like basically who we think we are. So I'm going to give you some specific examples. So let me see. Oh, there we go. Way better. Okay. For example, if you're telling yourself, well, I can only eat one dessert a day, I get really curious. I'm saying, so where did that come from? Or who says you can only have one dessert a day? Well, isn't that too much? Fill in the blank. Fat, sugar, whatever it is that is in the structure of the belief system you might have about a food. Oh, okay. Well, how would you know if it's too much fat or sugar? Well, didn't that article and whatever say, or don't people say? I'm like, well, who are people? Who are they? And what do they know about what your body needs, or what it's asking for, or how much dessert that it can tolerate, basically. And so when people are saying like, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I can't do this or that, pretty much 100% of the time, it's based on somebody's told me who I should or shouldn't be with my food, and how I need to be. And so what I hear from that is there's this lack of like, I need to be what you need me to be here, to be safe, to be okay, to be wanted, to be acceptable. And, those threads run really deep. So it's not like you watching this today and expect you to like know where that is or where that's from. You don't have to. If we can just recognize that deeper than what other people say I should or shouldn't eat, and me being really attached to what I think people think I should or shouldn't eat, it's usually this need, recognizing that we're trying to please, to be okay. And we don't want to beat ourselves up about that. We just want to recognize, okay, here right now in this very moment, what is my body saying? And what feels so important about what the others, the theys, the authorities, what makes it really, really important for me to care a whole bunch about what other people say more than what my body says. Those are the fundamental questions we need to answer when we're telling ourselves I should or shouldn't eat XYZ. Or XYZ is not good for me. Or, here's another example. I have diabetes. I shouldn't be eating carbohydrates, or I shouldn't be eating sugar, or whatever. It's like, okay, let's stop a second. Is that every person who has any kind of metabolic issue around blood sugar regulation needs to understand that there's not one person or one authority that's going to be able to say exactly every moment what your body needs or doesn't need. Now we can give some generalities, we can give some guidelines, but it's really when we're not able to kind of be in that space of like, okay, here's some information, and here's me selling myself and where I stand, and how can I use this information as like maybe a guidepost to kind of experiment with, coupled, it has to be an equal partner, minimum, and your body is even more important in this equation, is what does my body say when I do these things? Or, you know, when I do these things, it doesn't seem to matter, so maybe my body has more tolerance for carbohydrates at this time of the day. So that's just one example of how we're trying to move away from like what they say I shouldn't do, and more about, okay, solid in myself. Good morning, Samantha. What in myself knows what I should or shouldn't do, or at least what myself knows enough about my body to be able to pair with some information that might accelerate my progress or might help me feel a little better faster or whatever. And so this is the paradigm I want us all be thinking about shifting to, is when we're telling ourselves what we think they think we should or shouldn't eat, says more about our need to please than about the truth about what our body needs. So I hope this video is helpful. It's a really quick one this morning. I had other things going on, so I really appreciate all who have come live. If you feel like this video was of benefit to somebody who really just needs to hear this message, please sharing is caring. I really appreciate it, because a lot of times we get really frozen, and people get really frozen, especially on like medical nutrition things, really frozen about what they should or shouldn't do, and then either we just don't make decisions, we get into perfectionism mode, or we get into like just screw it mode, and none of these actually helps us with more holistic and long-term health. So that's why it's really important to have our own voice with our food, and our bodies are the voice firstly we want to be listening to. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. Jody, thank you for coming live. I'm just finishing up, so go back to the beginning. I think you'll like this video. So I'll talk to y'all real soon. Take care. Bye.